look, go for it. And just stroking it back and forth. Saying stroking sounds so disgusting, but you guys know what I mean. Now, when it comes to the front of the brow, I like to push up rather than just go in harsh at it, because then it's gonna look very dramatic. So just taking it at the very bottom and comb up. That way it clings to the hair and it doesn't look too dramatic. In the front of my brow, I really don't like putting a lot of product because I feel like it looks very heavy and very drawn on, and I don't really like that look. But if that's what you're into, then go ahead and pack it on in the front and square it up. After I apply the color, I like to take just a regular empty spoolie and just brush the brow, just to comb some of that excess product off. All right, so now that we got the brow powder all filled in, I'm gonna go in with Anastasia's Dipbrow in chocolate and in auburn. I like to start off with auburn first because it is a little bit lighter. So I use that. If that's not deep enough, I go back in with Anastasia's Dipbrow in chocolate and then deepen it up just a little bit more. All right, so taking that brow gel once again, going in right underneath the brow. My brows, I used to use black eyeliner. Everybody would be like, are your brows tattooed on? I'm like, no, I'm just fucking dramatic as fuck. And they were really carved out back then. So using this shade is much better because I don't look like a chola anymore. Not that looking like a chola is bad because they're kind of fierce, but you know, that's not the look we're going for, okay? All right, so now that we have our brows all filled in, I'm gonna go in and carve out the bottom of the brow using my MAC Full Coverage Foundation. You could use any type of cream concealer that you have. A lot of people will recommend a liquid concealer. However, I feel like using a cream concealer is gonna work a little bit more easy, being that it's thicker. When you're using a liquid, I feel like it's a little bit hard to use just because it is a liquid, so it is very wet, so it spreads very easily into the brow, rather than a cream you have more control over. So, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my full coverage foundation. If you have MAC Studio Finish Concealer, that will work as well, or any type of cream concealer. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that in on the MAC 242 brush, place it very, very closely to the top of the brow, or the bottom of the brow, actually. What the fuck am I saying? You know what I mean. Alright, so now that we got those brows all carved out with our foundation or concealer, depending upon what your preference is, I like to take whatever concealer or foundation that I have left on my flat brush and just drag it onto the brow bone. It's gonna look super messy, but it's okay. Just take it like this, right underneath. And then I go in with my Morphe E23 brush, which is a very fluffy, dense brush. It blends out amazingly. I love it for concealer underneath the eye as well. Just take it, buff it back and forth. Alright, so now that we have the concealer all placed, I'm going to go in with Studio Fix Powder by MAC Cosmetics. This is my favorite powder to set the concealer with because it creates a very smooth base. Everybody always asks how I get my eyeshadow to blend so easily. I feel like this really does it. So take your Studio Fix or any form of powder form of foundation actually, and place that down on the brow bone, blend it out. I do it a little bit heavy-handed. I recommend you do the same only because I feel like it blends out the eyeshadow very, very easily. So just take that on the Morphe E23. Alright then, just to finish off the brows, I like to take just a little bit of whatever foundation color we are, or you can use your powder as well to place on top of the brow just to clean up the top. So if we messed up any bit earlier, just use one that's your color, not that you're going to use as for the brow highlight. So I'm going to be taking my MAC NW25 Full Coverage Foundation, taking that on the 242 and placing it just right along the top of the brow. that concealer. All right, and now that we got the concealer all done, your brows are all done, and you look like a fresh doo-doo mama, you're ready to hit the night. Catch you guys later. Right at the top of the tarp. Fucking stupid.
Rewind,